Hello everyone! In this video we're going to be starting a new series here on the channel, and this is going to be a series of duplex apartments, so we're going to have 6 separate units. But I wanted this to be sort of like townhouses. Only 2 of them are actually adjacent to each other. There's going to be like a hallway between them because I want to have an area with a pool behind them, and these are going to be heavily inspired by the Lovestruck expansion pack, but also a series of duplex buildings that I saw in San Miguel de Allende, so this is like perfect for Lovestruck, I think, because it seems to me that a lot of these objects that come with this expansion pack are exactly the same style and, you know, everything that you see in San Miguel, so I really wanted to recreate this. The inside of these apartments is not that similar to the real thing. I have visited this city a few times in the past few years, so one of these was an Airbnb that I stayed at, so that's what we're using as inspiration, and I was just so excited to see that this expansion came with these windows because they are the exact same windows that these buildings had. So yeah, this is what we are going to do, and we are using the stairs, the doors, and some other stuff from Lovestruck, such as the stair rails, and I am also using this beautiful tile here in the terrace, which is going to be shared by both units, although the wallpaper is from Jungle Adventure, and the flooring that I am using inside is from the base game because it's very similar to the new flooring, but I preferred the one from the base game slightly, as this wallpaper, it's the same that I am using outside. But I am also very excited to be using the new wallpaper in other builds. I want to have some very bright houses in the future, but these ones were a bit more muted. They are still very colorful. This one is red, and I'm also going to have a yellow and an orange one. And I am going to be using mostly the same stuff in all 6 of them. I am using the same stove, the same counters, the same bathroom fixtures, except for the one that I am going to be decorating in this specific video, because I had a very specific character in mind when I was building this. So all the others are going to have the same bathroom stuff and all the same kitchen stuff, except for this first one. But I also really wanted to make sure that I was including this water tower, which is something that houses in Mexico tend to have, and it's also one of my favorite items from Lovestruck. Another very common thing to see in Mexico is that many houses hide the water tower, especially if they are more middle class or upper middle class. They will tend to hide the tower behind a small wall, so that's what I did in the upstairs, and I also wanted to have that base game pergola, which is so beautiful, and also it seemed right to me. So I'm just going to be copying everything from one side to the other, and now we have that small like passageway between the houses. And just to make this process easier, I also eliminated some of the interior walls so that I would only have to copy them once and then just draw the divisions again. Oh, another thing that I really liked was to use this iron door with no glass. That's the kind of thing that you will normally see in these kinds of spaces, not so much as a front door, or if you see it as a front door, there's like a second door that is solid, like here in this case. But I also discovered that if you use the new window from Lovestruck, the one that's like meant to be used in the shower, they are the same exact height and they have many of the same swatches. So you could have it as a more normal front door, or you could decide that you want this to be the front door and have no privacy, but I have never seen that here, so that wouldn't be the most accurate thing. But I am also using these beautiful house numbers and these really cool outdoor lights. I love the house numbers. They are something that I am very happy to have, but I do wish that we had some numbers that made more sense together. There's like 300 something, 500 something, and 700 and something, and they just don't make a lot of sense for this kind of build. And especially since we now have for rent, it's very weird to have that not make more sense. But I am just going to pretend that they are the same number, but one of the houses is A and B, and for some reason the other one is has its own like numbering system. Overall, I'm not too bothered by that. Maybe it would have been better if they were in Simlish, so you could just imagine whatever number. But I have just decided to ignore it. I suppose I could have used the same, like 300 and something in all of these houses and pretend that one of the numbers was different. But yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So here in this shared backyard, I am using this base game fence, gate, and I am also adding a pool. And next to it, there's going to be a bathroom. I don't really decorate the backyard in this video because I was running out of time and I really wanted to have a video this weekend. I was traveling recently and I gathered a lot of inspiration for future builds and lots of like Lovestruck content, which is very cool, but it has kind of thrown off my schedule a bit. So we are just going to be decorating this first unit, and then in a different video, when I decorate the upstairs unit, we're going to also have the terrace decorated, and then later we're going to do the backyard as well. But in this kitchen, we're going to have a bit of a different color scheme to the other kitchens. You have seen me place the counters on the other ones. And also the backsplash. This is the new one from Lovestruck, which is so cool and I am so excited to have. Some of these swatches are a bit loud like this one, but I am using a more neutral one in the other houses. This is the only one that is going to be different because I was thinking that this sim was really like to spend money in making their house more to their liking. I was thinking that this was an artist who paints mostly flirty paintings, so I added some here in from the gallery, and you could also decide to paint more flirty paintings on your own and maybe change them out. I have a ton of Lovestruck content in here. This is very black and red, and I was thinking very romantic. This is the only unit in which I am going to have a single sim living. The other ones all have children, but here I wanted to have like an art studio. So I really wanted to have this be like the perfect space for a date. So it has a very small living room. There's a perfect love seat for a date. It's a bit tacky, I do realize that. And it's tacky on purpose. I definitely wanted to try that out a bit with these items. It's also the one with the largest kitchen and the smaller dining room. I tend to always want to have enough seating for all of the Sims that share a house, so I really wanted this to be like very intimate, so there's only 2 chairs because I was thinking that, again, this Sims priority was dating. I don't think they have like only one partner, or maybe they don't have like partners, they just date a lot. I was thinking that they probably like to paint portraits of people they go on dates with, kind of like Titanic. But you'll see that later in the studio, which is a room I am very happy with. Definitely my most unique art studio. And since I had a very different layout in here than most of the other duplex units are going to have a very similar layout, because I have them planned to be for families, and I was trying to be like optimal for 3 to 4 Sims. I have already planned all of the other neighbors. I said that this is the only Sim who is single, and I think that maybe the Sim is a bit interested in dating their neighbors, maybe. So that, I think, is a fun storyline that you could play with if you wanted to. In this one, I just had like a lot of space to fill, so I am having this bookcase from the Morlocks kit, and I also wanted to have like chocolates on it so that it's even more romantic. I remember that there's a Cupid's arrow in the base game debug, so I also added it to one of the shelves, and I also wanted to have this like plant shelf in front of it. I also have the costume trunk and some other decorations above it, like a flirty painting and some other stuff from Lovestruck. I also have this base game rose that they have added a few swatches to. The swatch that I am using is new, and I was very happy to see that. And that was something I saw because I got one of the new swatches as a reward, and it just made me very excited. But here in the entryway, we're going to have this mirror with a few cutter items, a few plants. I also added these, they're called flirty footwear, so I felt that they were the perfect thing to add in here. I also have this like bouquet from Lovestruck, and this is on doormat, which has the hearts, so I thought that was perfect for this space because, again, it's kind of tacky. But in the bedroom, I really wanted to use the carpet and the fluffy rug. I'm also using a few stuff from high school years. So this is mostly like high school years and Lovestruck. I also decided to paint this with these beautiful wallpapers. And I think that this blue wallpaper matches the leaves on the other wallpaper perfectly. And I just really like it. I also decided to have a bit more of an interesting lighting in here. So you'll see that change in a bit. And this shelving unit has items from this very cool like toiletries tray from Lovestruck and also a jewelry box. I was thinking that this is a sim that cares a lot about their image. And they also like really love like flirty items like tons of flowers. I was thinking that maybe they painted this lips painting. I also added the new curtains, and I actually changed the swatch because you can see them from the outside and it just looked a bit too red. So I decided to have the blue swatch. But you will see that in the screenshots. I don't do this on camera. But I decided to change the Lovestruck little lamp for this candle, and I also added the wall lights from the Cozy Bistro kit, which I thought was interesting how much stuff from the Cozy Bistro kit I was using in here. I am using the juice bottle and a few of the posters, these lights, and maybe another of the items, I don't really remember. But in the bathroom, I really wanted to have a few woohoo spots, so we are going to have this closet and this closed shower. All of the other duplex units are going to have the new shower, but I really wanted this specific one to come with a shower that allowed for woohoo, and I just really wanted this bathroom to look like it belonged to a single sim, so I only have one bathrobe, and I am using another one of these posters and some more of these flowers on this side table from Growing Together, which comes in a very beautiful gold swatch, which I thought matched perfectly with all of the stuff that I was using. I also decided to cover part of the door to the closet with a decal from Lovestruck because I wanted this to look a bit more like the kind of thing that you would find at a house instead of a community lot. But I think that this solves that issue, or you could always change it out for the closet that comes with Get Together if you have that back. I also really wanted to have a jacuzzi in the backyard, so there's even more woohoo spots in this area, although I really wouldn't want my neighbors to do that in the shared jacuzzi. But anyway, this is going to be that art studio that I have mentioned, and I just really love this space. I think the zebra print is a lot, but in a good way, and I was very happy that this blue matched the painting and this chair. This chair doesn't come in a red or a black swatch, so I pretty much only had the option of using the blue one if I wanted this to match other stuff, but this painting also has like blue accents, and this is that love seat that I was thinking really reminded me of Titanic. And I also added some papel picado because Mexico, and I thought that it was very cool and that it fit this space. And it's an item that I always love to use when I think that it fits the space, although unfortunately I do often forget about it. But anyway, this is mostly it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be uploading the blank version of these duplex buildings so that you can furnish them all by yourself, and when I am finished with this series I am going to also have that up on the gallery. I'm going to leave one of these blank anyway, in case that's something that you would like to furnish, but keep all of the other ones. So stay tuned for all the other duplex units in this series, and I hope to see you soon.